All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, as you all know, I've long been obsessed with the case of Epstein. I see it as a window into just how corrupt the American elite is, how they can be manipulated, how the systems of justice and power that we have in this country literally stop at nothing to advance themselves, even if it means protecting and cavorting with the worst monsters in our society. And as you also all know, Epstein did not just ensnare Democrats. He had a relationship with the power elite of finance, science, technology, princes, former presidents, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Now we're learning, it seems, also one of Trump's closest advisors, Steve Bannon. Get this, a bombshell revelation dropped yesterday in the New York Times, revealing that provocateur Michael Wolff got his hands on a transcript of hours of on-camera interaction between Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein in the last days of Jeffrey Epstein's life. Bannon, in the reported interaction, appeared to be coaching Epstein before a scheduled 60 Minutes interview that never ended up happening. He told the pedophile, quote, "You're engaging, you're not threatening, you're natural, you're friendly, you don't look at all creepy, you're a sympathetic figure." Wolff describes the session as a quasi-interview in which Bannon was supposedly providing, quote, media training to Mr. Epstein. Per Michael Wolff, Bannon repeatedly tells Epstein he has one message to convey, that he is not a pedophile, and said that he was impressed by his progress. Bannon disputes that characterization. He told the New York Times that actually he interviewed Epstein over the course of hours, and they were conducted for an unannounced documentary series, which is supposed to show Epstein's, quote, perversions and depravity towards young women were part of a life that was systematically supported, encouraged, and rewarded by a global establishment that dined off of his money and his influence. Now, if that's legit, look, sign me up, but I still have a lot of questions. Those interviews took place over 2 years ago in early 2019. What is Steve Bannon waiting for? Interviews in the very last months of Epstein's life are the definition of newsworthy. How is it we're only hearing about this now? And look, I know it's Michael Wolff, but Bannon did not dispute the legitimacy of that transcript at all. Per Wolff, Epstein himself seemed to believe Bannon was coaching him in practice interviews. So whatever the truth is, we need to learn about it. More importantly, we gotta see those tapes, like now, as soon as possible. Interviews with Epstein right before he was imprisoned and ultimately died are a wealth of information. I simply refuse to believe something so incredibly explosive could sit in a vault for more than 2 years, unless there's a really good reason or other factors at play. Beyond the specifics of the case, it's a reminder how much Epstein cavorted and sought advice or seemed to become entangled with nearly anyone whose name that you would recognize from a newspaper. Scientists and presidents, the richest man in the world, Bill Gates, the princes, Prince Andrew, you'll recall. He's effectively been in hiding now for the last 2 years, ever since his disastrous BBC interview in 2019, where he denied that it was him in a photograph with his arm around a young woman named Virginia Giuffre. She was accused Epstein of sexually trafficking her as a minor, and specifically leveled that Andrew himself took advantage of her when she was underage. Well, it seems the prince's attempts at hiding haven't worked fully. According to Virginia Giuffre's legal team, Prince Andrew was served with legal papers at his house. This matters because the legal proceedings against Andrew can't actually begin until he's been physically served with papers. Now, given the fact that he's a prince and he has guards who keep him from the public, it's obviously a little difficult. So get this. According to Giuffre's legal team, Prince Andrew's security team rejected the attempts to serve them with papers, saying they, quote, were instructed not to accept service of any court process. Her legal team was later told that if they gave the papers to a police officer, they would then be considered served. But Andrew was not at the residence, and his shadowy whereabouts are difficult to track. So all of this matters because Andrew's plan is not to dispute the charges leveled against him by Giuffre, though he denies any wrongdoing. It's to challenge that he was ever served at all in New York State Court, where the civil suit is taking place. Furthermore, after that, the prince and his legal team are charging that the U.S. doesn't even have any jurisdiction over this case. Now, none of this would matter if Prince Andrew just met with FBI agents and sat down for an interview with them. Except, of course, he refuses to do that. The man is literally in hiding. The Queen retired him from public life. He has not spoken in public in 2 years. He hides behind great big walls, and he literally has the police intercepting summons for him to be served in a legal proceeding where he's accused of grave sexual misconduct. Do you need any more evidence of how the powerful are protected? If only you and I had literal guards to shield us all the time. Just imagine how much more convenient life would be. I paired these two things together because they're fitting questions that were raised in this case. What exactly is the deal? How did he ensnare so many people, it seems? Why does every headline never actually answer the final question? Ghislaine Maxwell has literally been sitting in prison for over a year. What's going on? Why have no names actually come out from the case? So many of you asked me to do updates on Epstein, and look, I would love to. Here's the truth though. The case is just like this. It lives in the shadows. Little tidbits they dribble out from time to time, month after month. And I doubt the full truth will ever come out. But look, if something ever does, we'll keep you updated. I mean, that Bannon thing, Crystal.
I have so many questions.
That's totally nuts.
So what? Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.